News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A convicted murderer gets life without parole. Good morning, everyone. Montana Morning. It is Tuesday, December 13th, 2016. Right now we have a cloudy sky, 19 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Ponderosa Dental, just off Reserve on 3rd. When you think of a great smile, think of Ponderosa Dental, proud corporate partner of Grizzly Athletics. Our top story this morning, Scott Austin Price and Sarah McKnight appeared in Missoula District Court yesterday and were sentenced for their roles in the murder of Lynette Keener at the Super 8 Motel and the stabbing of Susan Ledger in the Missoula Fresh Market parking lot in December of last year. Chief Deputy Missoula County Attorney Jason Marks represented the state at the sentencing.
Price was charged with actually having committed the murder. Ms. McKnight was charged under our felony murder rule for being involved in a robbery that resulted in a death. And then they also had charges related to evidence tampering and the theft of Lynette Keener's car.
Marks outlined the sentences for Price and McKnight.
He received a sentence of life plus 200 years, all without possibility of parole. She was sentenced for her role in those same crimes, and she received 2 life sentences running consecutively. Functionally, that means she'll be eligible for parole in 60 years when she would be 93.
Marks explains why the death penalty was not sought in this case.
In my legal view, there probably is no death penalty in Montana currently because of the U.S. Supreme Court invalidating a death penalty statute in another state that is virtually identical to Montana's. I don't think we could impose one until the legislature changes our death penalty statute.
Price received a similar sentence for deliberate homicide earlier this month for stabbing his landlord to death in Miles City. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison. A Butte couple faces felony elder abuse charges for reportedly forcing a developmentally disabled 65-year-old woman to panhandle. The woman was first arrested for panhandling in June. When she appeared in court December 6th, she testified that her daughter and son-in-law forced her to panhandle at a freeway on-ramp near Rocker as they sat in a nearby car. The Montana Standard reports the woman also said that 29-year-old Anna George and 47-year-old Steve Cothran took her Social Security checks and charged her rent to live with them. George and Cothran were arrested yesterday on suspicion of elder abuse. They posted bail. There were no phone listings for George or Cothran in Butte. Court proceedings against the two are pending. 2 backcountry skiers spent a long, cold night in the woods Sunday after they got stuck in extremely deep snow in the Lolo Pass area. Missoula County Search and Rescue Chief Joe Blattner says the skiers were expected back by sunset, but never showed up.
Around 11 p.m. or so, our search and rescue coordinator deputies were able to inform us that we had 2 adult males in the Lolo Pass area who were reported as overdue from a backcountry ski trip that they had.
15 volunteer search and rescue members came out to help search, along with 2 Forest Service officers, 3 sheriff's deputies, and 2 members of the Five Valley Backcountry Ski Patrol. 2 Bear Air was also called out to help search for the missing skiers.
Around the Crystal Amphitheater area, who encountered some pretty treacherous terrain, they reported snow that was chest deep and were a little bit turned around. This search and rescue mission lasted several hours. The 2 individuals were prepared for the snow conditions, with adequate clothing and, food and water, which was excellent. So there was no medical attention needed.
This was the 3rd Missoula County Search and Rescue mission in just 10 days. Blattner says the number of rescue missions always increases when there is snow. Police took a man into custody Friday evening after an officer noticed a car speeding on the north side. According to Missoula Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh, the suspect fled the scene.
Sean Evans, 47, was arrested Friday night at about 8:30 after he was observed speeding in an area near the 1800 block of Rogers Street. Rather than stop for the officer who had initiated a traffic stop, driver, Mr. Evans, attempted to elude him, eventually jumping out of his car and fleeing on foot.
More officers came to the scene. Evans was finally captured not far from where he ditched his vehicle.
The man was attempting to lose the officer through quick turns, that sort of thing, and managed to get out of sight of him quick enough to stop his car on a sidewalk and then run on foot. Just a matter of a couple blocks before he was picked up by another officer in the area. He was charged for a 5th offense DUI as well as some traffic offenses.
On top of his fifth DUI charge, which is a felony, Evans received charges for reckless driving, eluding a police officer, failing to carry insurance, and driving with a suspended license. 2 men were killed in the separate weekend crashes on Montana's highways. The Highway Patrol says a 28-year-old Cutbank man died and two 38-year-old Browning men were injured in a crash early Sunday on U.S. Highway 2 between Browning and East Glacier. And a 34-year-old Sand Springs man was killed in a crash Friday on Montana Highway 200 in Petroleum County. The patrol said the man's vehicle went off the left side of the road near the town of Mosby. He overcorrected, and the car went off down a steep embankment. The names of the victims have not yet been released. Missoula County Democratic Party's Central Committee Executive Board recently passed a resolution regarding anti-Semitic hate speech in Missoula. Communications Director Dave Severson said the subject of the alarming rise of hate speech will be addressed at the organization's holiday get-together, which happens today at the Burn Street Bistro.
Condemning the rise in violence and hate that's been going on since the election, and we believe that people should be able to live in this country without fear of persecution, and we're wanting everyone to get involved and stop hate and violence based on whatever reason.
Severson would not speculate on the individuals or groups that disseminated the anti-Semitic material.
I think there were some stories about various groups doing some hate leaflets, and I wouldn't hazard to say if they were sponsored by a certain group or just some rogue person putting them out, but they have appeared on doorsteps right in Missoula, on people's houses, so it's right here in our community, and we're very concerned.
Part of the resolution reads, quote, the Missoula County Democratic Party sharply condemns the rise in violence and hate crimes engendered by the incendiary presidential campaign, including the recent distribution of anti-Semitic literature in Missoula, end quote. Finally, a spokeswoman for Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke said he did discuss national security, sportsmen's rights, and other topics during a closed-door meeting with President-elect Donald Trump yesterday at the Trump Tower. Spokeswoman Heather Swift said the two talked for about a half an hour and had a wide-ranging discussion. She said American Indian affairs, land use, and land ownership also came up. No further details were offered. Our News Talk time is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Calmer conditions in the area today as we're waking up from the single digits to the teens and 20s. High right around 25 today. You could run into a few showers in the Bitterroot this morning. I'm meteorologist Matt Gray for the NBC Montana Severe Weather Alert Team.